Hi there, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the latest live video, Northern Affinity. I'm delighted to say, as you can see on screen there, I'm joined by Andrea and Michelle, who are going to introduce themselves in a moment. But as with all these videos that we do, we're live on various different platforms, LinkedIn and Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, anywhere and everywhere, basically. So if you are watching it live as well, if you have any questions or any comments as we go through, please do. We'll try and cover them off as we go through. But today we're going to talk about business banking, kind of what's the situation in the last year or so, and kind of where things are going, and specifically about the Metro and what they're doing. For those who don't know me, I also have a background in business banking, so I have a little bit of knowledge, not as much as these two guys anymore, but hopefully I'll be able to hold my own on the conversation anyway. So any questions you have, whether it's during the live or afterwards, please do let us know. But I'll hand it over to you guys to introduce yourself first. Can we go to Michelle first, if that's okay?
Yeah, hi Michael, hi everyone. So my name's Michelle Slater. I'm the local director for Metro Bank in Sheffield. I joined Metro in January 2020 after spending 36 years in banking across Lloyds and TSB. And the reason why I joined Metro was because it was a very different kind of bank, and it definitely excited me how they were different. And I've got to say, in the last 16 months, it's definitely not disappointed, whilst it has been an unusual 15 months joining a new bank.
Oh, absolutely. And we'll go to that in a minute, definitely. But Andrea as well, if you're okay to just say hello.
Hello, my name's Andrea Ottewell. I'm the local business manager based in the Sheffield store. So I oversee and look after all the business customers that have been coming to us and existing customers in the Sheffield area. I've been in business banking not quite as long as Michelle. I've been doing this for just over 20 years. Ex-NatWest business manager, and joined at the same time as Michelle in January 2020 when the opportunity came about when Metro Bank moved into Sheffield, and not looked back since. I'm very happy with what's been happening so far, so it's great.
That's great, Andrea. Thank you. Now, business banking has evolved and changed a lot in the last few years. Like I said, from when I joined in 2010 to 2015, it's changed so much. So I'd love to know from you guys, kind of tell us a little bit more about Metro Bank, because obviously maybe not that well known to everybody, especially some of the northern-based businesses. So kind of tell us a little bit about the Metro and maybe why you're a little bit different as well. And you kind of alluded to that, Michelle. So I'll come to you first, if that's all right.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about Metro. We serve more than 2 million customers' accounts, and we celebrate the fact that we provide exceptional customer experience. We are also the highest rated high street bank for overall service quality for personal and business customers, and the #1 bank for service in stores in the competition's market authority. We're also recognised as the Bank of the Year in 2020 and the Banking Brand of the Year in 2021. So we've got some really good accolades more recently. We were the first new bank to gain a banking licence for over 100 years, very much a traditional bank. So we take in customers' deposits and we use that money to lend to others, but in a very modern feel or a very modern environment. We want to be known as the best community bank, so we don't want to sort of compete with the big high street banks. We want to be known for the best community bank. And we offer retail services, business, commercial, private banking sector. But we pride ourselves on giving customers the choice of how to bank with us. We were the 77th store to open, so we're predominantly London based, but we are moving north gradually with a new store opening in Bradford as well during the summer, so July, August time. So we're just waiting for this pandemic to ease off a little bit. But we open early and we close late. We're in lockdown hours at the moment, and they've been changing over the last 15 months, but we normally open at 8 o'clock in the morning and close at 8 o'clock at night, Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock on a Saturday, and 11 till 5 on a Sunday. But more importantly, we open 362 days a year. So yes, we do open on bank holidays. And we've also got a 24/7 contact centre, which is UK based, so you can get hold of us any time of the day, and that's all year round. And even people call us on Christmas Day. Do you believe that? So our store, so we've got a beautiful store in Sheffield. We provide a face-to-face service for all our customers, both personal and business and commercial banking. Obviously, over the last 15 months, we've been a little bit more agile, so we have been doing lots of things remotely. But if you walk into our store, we can open a personal account in 40 minutes. We can open a business account in 90 minutes. Your debit card is printed in store. So we provide a journey that starts and finishes in the store, and you can walk out and you're good to go with a bank account. Debit card is free to use across in Europe. And we also provide a travel money service as well. So in our beautiful store, we have got a unique safe deposit facility. So it's a little bit like Ocean's 11. So you can bring to us your intrinsic and non-intrinsic items. So any valuables that you hold or any important documents or disk drives. You get a key, I get a key, we open your box and you can go into a private viewing area, and you can do that 7 days a week. So you can get access to your valuables or your important documents anytime you want. But some of the other unique things is that if you've got colleagues or clients that have children, we do a kids rock and money zone. So we have a magic money machine. So we use that for both education and fun. We go into schools. So we do key stage 2 and 3 education in schools. So we do 4 one-hour lessons in school, and then the kids come to us in the store and we show them around and show them what a bank looks like. And we also welcome dogs into our stores. So we treat them with goodies, fresh water, bandanas. And yesterday we launched our very own pet insurance as well. So very unique and very different to other banks. But I'm going to hand over to Andrea to tell you a little bit more about business banking.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, Andrea.
Great. So like I said, I'm the local business manager here, and I've always been passionate about business customers and putting them at the forefront of everything we do, which is why I joined Metro Bank when I did. As the local business manager, I have a mobile phone, so customers can call me. And I do find when I'm out and about, if I speak to people and say, when is the last time you spoke to your business manager? A lot of them don't have business managers. So a lot of people do like to be able to ring me. I'll know their business, I'll know information about them, so they can talk to me on a daily basis, and I can be contacted on email or by telephone. So I'm based in the store. However, I can come out to see customers as well, and help support their business grow to where they want to be. So as the local business manager, I look after businesses with turnovers up to approximately £2 million. And then we also have a commercial manager who looks after turnovers above that. And that's really why I joined, because a lot of the banks were moving away from the personal touch. A lot of the stores you go into are all machines, and you don't get to speak to a human being. And it was lovely that although we've got all the modern technology, we have got the old-fashioned banking values, which allows you to do the banking the way you want to do. And I'm here in store and available to speak to anybody that wants to come on board with us. And that's really why I joined, and why we're different.
That's great, Andrea. And I guess the question, I'll come to you, Michelle, actually, first, about obviously the general situation has been over the last year, 15 months or whatever it is now, has been difficult for many people. What are businesses saying, how they're feeling about things at the moment, as we're kind of hopefully, fingers crossed, coming out of the pandemic? What's their general feeling?
Yeah, I think it's been a difficult 15 months, what with COVID, and obviously that brings on an economic crisis, I suppose. And I suppose it's forced businesses and maybe even larger companies to change how we not only live, but how we work as well. And I think many elements of business and life have been challenged quite substantially over the last 15 months. And I suppose as we come out of it, the next normal may look a little bit different to what we were doing before. And there's been some great things that have come out of the last 15 months that we can take forward into the future. And build on that, as well as maybe go back to some old ways, if you like. But businesses are doing the best to manage through the pandemic. I think we've seen businesses being really agile, so adjusting their business and work practices. They've also been making sure they look after their colleagues, their employees, making sure we look after the well-being of employees, and being quite creative as well. So some businesses have created that business might not have been doing particularly well, or they found a new way of opening a new business up and taking advantage of what's happened in the last 15 months. So I think it's been quite a number of things. The other thing is, sadly, there'll be some businesses that, sadly haven't done so well, and maybe they won't continue with their business. But I suppose what's more important to us and from Metro Bank and the store is that we've been really pragmatic. So since we opened last June, we wanted to be there to help customers, whether that was to talk about their financial stress or issues that they've got, but also those seeking alternative ways of banking because they haven't been able to get hold of their bank or they couldn't open a new account with them. We've opened our arms to those customers and opened our doors, and we have attracted some really good quality businesses and helped them financially with bounce back loans, which has been great for us. So I think there's been a number of different things that have come out of this, some good, some maybe not so good, and some really creative and agile.
Absolutely. What about you yourself, Andrea? What's the kind of the feelings you're getting from speaking to people?
From following on from what Michelle's been saying, I believe we've been really supportive. A major thing has been the bounce back loan, and a lot of businesses didn't understand what was involved and how we could support them, whether it was an overdraft facility, a business credit card, or a bounce back loan to help them. So being able to support the customer by telling them what they need, and then, like I reiterated earlier, being able to speak to somebody who understands their business has been helpful for them. Some of my customers have been very in what they've been doing over the last 18 months, which, it can't be for all customers. But, for example, I had a customer who has a big delivery leaflet business where they distributed leaflets and actually digressed into delivering sweets and desserts during lockdown. So it was good to see that they came up with some ideas and that they were that pleased with everything that Metro were able to offer them that they've now opened a separate business purely for the sweet business. So they're actually running the two businesses alongside each other. So it's great that we can offer all the different facilities to them, such as, obviously the business bank account where other banks couldn't, but also things like asset finance that we do a lot of, invoice financing, and the fact that the customer is able to speak to somebody first who knows a little bit about their situation and how we can support them does help them. So we've been very busy, but busy in a very proactive way, and it's been great, the response we've been getting. And in a way, the COVID pandemic helped us because it made people realise how little support they were getting elsewhere. So I believe the future's bright now. Everybody seems to be out of it. And as Michelle said, some businesses may not survive, but, we'll do what we can to help and support. We're not a computer says no bank. We will look at every case on an individual level and support them that way.
I think it's a great point actually about how many businesses have evolved and changed and reacted in the last year or so. It's been amazing, hasn't it? And I'm very firmly of the belief that as we come out of this, assuming that once we get through the probably economic issues, which might take a little bit longer, we will have a lot stronger businesses actually, because they will have learned to be able to be more agile and react to situations. It might be a longer term, a real benefit actually as we move forward. So, I mean, touching there on the future, and you kind of touched on it there, Michelle, what's going to happen now? I know no one's got any, no one can see into the future, but how do you think kind of business banking is going to evolve now following the pandemic, and what do you think is going to change?
Yeah, so obviously I can only sort of form an opinion after many years in the bank, I suppose, but I think the future will look very different. And I think we're really faced with changing consumer expectations. So banks will need to embrace those really. And I think we've got new technologies coming along. We've got new business models. I think we need to be flexible and adapt to those. But most importantly, we just need to make sure that we keep the customer at the heart of what we do. So personally, I think, there's digitalization, if we're going to keep up with I suppose retailers, look at Amazon and things like that. We need to be better with digitalisation across all the banks. This is just Metro, it's across all the banks. We need to probably do business a little bit faster. Sometimes it can be a little bit complex. Processes can get in the way, so we need to be able to do it a little bit quicker for customers, improve the customer experience, but making sure we keep the customer at the heart of what we do. And I suppose there's that journey for the customer. There's an awful lot of forms, there's an awful lot of paperwork still. How do we digitalise some of those to make that journey a little bit quicker? So I think we've definitely moved forward. If you think about where we were 15 months ago, we never did things remotely. Banking industry is heavily regulated, and we have to follow those regulations or we get the fines. So, it's interesting to see that working with the regulators that we can do things remotely, and certify documents and complete application forms a little bit more easier. So I'd like to think that will come with us in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of specifically around business banking, I mean, Andrea, to come to you actually, what do you think will be the big changes as we move forward? Have we lost Andrea? Oh, might have lost Andrea there.
Sorry, I cut out there. Apologies for that. Sorry, what was the question? Sorry.
So I'm just kind of asking about business banking, I guess, and how that kind of will evolve, do you think, in the coming months and years?
Sorry, I cut out again. I apologise. I love the internet.
Sorry, I'll go back to you then, Michelle, to kind of finish out. What do you think specifically around business?
Do you want to answer, Michelle? Because I'm... Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and help with that question. I think from a business banking point of view, I think it's all about choice, isn't it, for the customer? It's all about what businesses want. You'll have some businesses that are very digitally minded, and we need to make sure that, that we provide those facilities, whether that's internet banking, mobile banking. We've got face recognition on our mobile. However, there's some businesses that want that face-to-face. There are some moments in their business where they want that personal touch. So I think that's really important as well, that we offer both. While lots of other banks are streamlining their relationship managers, as Andrea said earlier, we still want to keep that within our bank. We feel that's really important, because there are times then that customer wants that contact with their personal relationship manager so they can talk about the business. So you would like to think that, going forward, the relationship's still there. We'll keep that. Some other banks may not. But obviously, if a customer wants to be digitalised and they can do everything they need, then we can be flexible and adaptable to be able to help the customer with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. And I think there's got to be change, because everyone's changing. And things have accelerated, haven't they, so much in the last year or so. And I think it's good to hear that banking wants to kind of help that. Because like I said right at the start, my experience of it is there's obviously so much regulation, understandably, around it, but that obviously that can affect the customer from a speed and time point of view. So if things can hopefully improve on that front and kind of use the technology, I think it'd help everybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that would be good. Yeah, well, I mean, the last thing for me really is if anyone wants to find out a bit more about what you guys do at Metro, or find out a bit more about the offer, where's the best place to come to?
So the best place is if you go on Metro Bank online, you can find the Sheffield store on there, and you'll get our contact details. Andrew and I and Howard are all on LinkedIn, so you'll be able to track us down on LinkedIn. Just send us a message, and of course we're part of Northern Affinity, so we'll be joining some of the sessions. So just reach out to us if you want any help, any advice, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to obviously coming to your branch next week, isn't it, for an event as well, which we're looking forward to doing as well. So it's great to be working with you guys. Yeah, and that's kind of it for me. I know a number of people do watch this afterwards. So if you do have any questions that pop up and you want to put them, come to myself or go to the guys directly. I'm sure we'll all be able to help you in that way. But yeah, I just want to thank you both for spending the time, and I think it's really exciting what you guys are doing and trying to do. And as more and more of a presence up north as well, as you can imagine. That interests us, and like I said, I know the branch in Bradford opening soon, which is fantastic. So yeah, thank you both for your time, and yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. See you. Bye. Bye.